How are you, DJ?
I'm doing great, Rich. What's going on?
Before we get to the game that you're covering this weekend, last night's game, what do you think? What did the scouting community? How do you think they took in the Raiders' performance last night?
Ooh, I thought you were going to go straight to Mullins, but you hit me on the Raiders.
No, I'm going to get to the part about how you and everybody else missed on Mullins. It's okay.
No,
DJ.
I was going to say I just can't wait to see Mullins play an NFL team. Then we're going to see how good he is.
Well, look at that. That's what the scouting community thinks. There you go.
Look, no, I was really happy for him. I went back and looked at my notes. I had him in the preseason, and then I had to go back and look at my notes to get ready for that game. And I had written down in my notes Austin Davis 2.0. So I thought he'd be, Austin Davis hung around the NFL for a long time. And this kid so far, what a heck of a start for him. Happy for him. But man, that was a lifeless bunch on the other side for sure.
You think they quit on that game last night, Daniel?
I don't know.
That's a tough word. I know what the Q word means, but
it's a strong word. I'm always hesitant to go there. I just don't think they're very good. So in lieu of saying they quit, I don't think they have a lot of talent right now.
Why are they not so very good, Daniel? Why?
Well, I mean, you can look at the line of scrimmage. You can generate no pass rush. I mean, the run defense was atrocious last night. I mean, they were huge lanes they were running through. And then on the offensive side of the ball, they can't protect. I think you can make a case that Carr's lost some confidence, and I don't know if that's all on him, if it's on the lack of protection, if it's on the lack of weapons. You could attribute it in a lot of different areas, but he does not look like a confident quarterback. So they've got a myriad of issues.
What do you think Gruden's plan is here? Do you see
you better
one?
Hit on all your draft picks. You got a whole ton of them.
Well, I mean,
they'll be the team of the spring. I mean, we'll be talking about them all spring about what they're going to do with these picks, and I don't know. I mean, I don't know if that was. If trading Amari Cooper, is that like an insurance policy, basically just ensuring they're going to get the number one pick? Was that the last move to kind of see to it that happens? After watching them last night and look at their schedule, I think somebody tweeted out last night, I think 6 of their 8 remaining teams are over 500. I mean, they're going to have the first pick.
Well, I mean, the Giants don't look too good either. So, I mean, they
don't play, do they?
Let me take a look at it right here. So Oakland's remaining games, there are no byes left, as they've already had their bye coming off of that loss in London. You're going to be visiting them next week. The Chargers are at the Black Hole. Then they're at Arizona, at Baltimore, home for Kansas City. There's a Sunday night football home game against Pittsburgh that's absolutely going to get flexed out of. That's the noise you hear right now. Oakland's at Cincinnati. Then, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to laugh. The Monday night finale of ESPN season is Denver at Oakland, and then Oakland's at Kansas City. That's their remaining schedule right there.
Yeah, I just feel like the Giants are more likely to stumble into a win or two.
So then that means Nick Bosa is a Raider, right?
That would be the very early guess.
Well, I mean, you're talking about pass rush, and Gruden's talked nothing about needing a pass rush ever since he traded away Khalil Mack.
Yeah, well, we'll see that. We'll see what they decide on the quarterback position too.
Do you think they really? Wow. So, what is your Daniel Jeremiah here on the Rich Eisen Show? What is your evaluation of Derek Carr right now?
Well, he's not right. I mean, he's not right now. So you have to decide whether or not you feel like that's because of him or what's surrounding him. But I just know when you have the collective failure they're having offensively, that nothing's off the board. So when I watch him, I just don't see a guy who's comfortable and confident in pulling the trigger back there. I mean, I think somebody tweeted out the little shot chart. They're not trying to push the ball down the field at all. So even if you're not successful, you've got to stretch the field a little bit. They just haven't been able to do that. With
his contract, would you trade for him? Would you pound a table in a meeting room in a front office in the NFL to say, like, just say if you're Jacksonville, let's go get him right now. Let's flip him a draft choice, whatever it would be, because you wouldn't have to be very high of a draft choice with that contract. What would you pound a table for him?
I wouldn't. I know I'm sure a lot of people would. I just, sometimes you get in trouble when you get beholden to your college grade. But, I've always thought that Derek was a good player. I've never thought of him as an elite player. Now, he's had elite moments, but I never put him in that class coming out. And I don't know that I would make that investment right now.
Daniel Jeremiah here on the Rich Eisen Show. All right, let's turn to the Chargers. In the name of Bosa, do we see Joey? When do we see him?
I don't think to see him this week. I mean, it was interesting to see maybe against Oakland. That could potentially happen there. You know, one thing to keep an eye on when you have the foot injuries, and I'm not a doctor, but having your first game back on turf, maybe that's something you want to avoid. Get on the grass, and that would be Oakland the following week, which would definitely be on the grass. So baseball season is over, correct?
Yes, it is. It is. That's right. They filled it in.
Yeah, I don't know. You know, the good thing is in some ways it has been a little bit of a blessing for the Chargers because they've rolled a lot of guys through on their defensive line and really have a nice rotation going right now. So when he does get back, that's going to be a pretty good group they've got now.
Yeah, I know. And 5-2. They're poised. Unfortunately for them, they got a team that's way ahead of them in division that's already beaten them. But how good can this Chargers team be, do you think, Daniel?
Well, I think when you look at going into the postseason, first of all, you just got to find a way to get in. So, you know, it's going to be a challenge to win that division, but get in any way you can. And then when you get into the postseason, I've always believed that it comes down to strong quarterback play and can you rush the passer. If you get those two things going, you can win the whole thing. And I think this Chargers group, if they get back to go with Ingram and Legit and all that crew, and you get Rivers to continue playing like he is, I mean, they're a dangerous team.
And Seattle, I'm sure you've watched a lot of film on a lot of them. Where did this team come from? Can you say that the offensive line problems there are fixed? Can you say that?
They're playing well, and they're doing some really good things. I know Schottenheimer got lambasted when he got that job, and everybody was up in arms. And he's old school, and this is the new way of football now, and he's not up with the times. And then here they are running out there with several times you see 6 offensive linemen out there with tight end. You've got Fluker in the run game, Sweezy in the run game. They're both doing a really good job inside of moving people. And then Russell's not having to throw the ball more than 30 times. So he's been very efficient. He's protected the football. And they found a little bit of a formula. And while the names are all gone on defense, they are flying around, Rich. It looks like kind of that young group that they had back in the day before they were the Legion of Boom and that whole crew. One thing you noticed about Pete Carroll's teams, they flew to the football, and that's what this group's doing.
Bring me up to speed on the kid we talked about nonstop in the talent evaluation portion together this year, and Shaquem Griffin. How's he looking so far?
Well, he did well early in the season, but now they've got healthy. You know, when you get KJ Wright back to go along with Bobby Wagner, those are the guys. So, you know, it's just still is going to go down as an all-time story, and I think he will settle in and be a long-time starter in the NFL. He won't just be a role player; he'll be a long-time starter. Just
not yet, is what you're saying.
Yeah, I think that his best football is ahead of him. I think he was raw, and I think just when you look at kind of the seasoning they have there with those other two, he's not going to be at the forefront of that defense anytime soon.
Few more minutes left with Daniel Jeremiah here on the Rich Eisen Show. Best team you've seen so far, the Rams, with your own 2 eyes?
Yeah, I've seen the Rams and the Chiefs in person. I would say the Rams is probably popular as the most balanced team that can play any style, can win any type of way. Now, Kansas City's defense is playing better of late than when I saw them early. But, man, the Chiefs' offense still – I would say their offense would scare you even more than the Rams. But the Rams have more ways to get it done.
Ask the poll question of Daniel Jeremiah, who stands in the crossroads of college and professional football. Chris?
All right, DJ, which game will be the most competitive this weekend? Alabama.
It's not Alabama.
Alabama, LSU. Okay, so you're out on that. Penn State, Michigan, Georgia, Kentucky, Rams, Saints, Packers, Patriots.
Ooh. Oh, of all those games, you know what? I think Rich's alma mater. That could be it's going to be a good game. I think Penn State will lose. I think Michigan will win, but I think Penn State will hang with them.
Why do you think that?
I think it's going to be a good physical game. You know, and McSorley is just he's
dynamite.
You know, whatever term you want to use, gamer, gritty, you know, all those fun terms. He's a really good football player, and I think he finds a way to keep them in that game for a while before Michigan just wins the game at the line of scrimmage.
So you think Rams, Saints, Patriots, Packers won't be as competitive as that one, huh? Okay.
I think of those NFL games, one thing about in the Saints fans, it's one of those things where you don't realize it. I get hit on Twitter them saying you have picked against the Saints like 5 weeks in a row, and has not worked out well for me.
Okay.
But for some reason, I have a hard time seeing them, especially without Davenport. I thought that injury was huge. I don't see them slowing down this Rams offense.
How good is Alabama in terms of college teams that you've been looking at over the years, DJ?
Well, they've never had an offense like this. So, with athletes and scheme on defense, that's a constant. And then offensively, it's just kind of been a roller coaster ride. I went to the game the last time they played at LSU, and it was like, I think it was 14-0 or something like that. It was a real low-scoring game, and now they have NFL receivers, tight ends, and offensive linemen as they've had at times, but they've never had a quarterback like this. So, yeah, it's pretty darn good.
How many professional scouts can't wait till Tua is eligible right now?
Oh, yeah, there's a lot of buzz. There's a lot of buzz. There's not a lot of buzz about this upcoming group.
Why? Not the kid from Oregon? What about Herbert's not buzzworthy?
Herbert, no, I think people like Herbert. He's raw. He's not put together yet. The kid at Duke is the one that's really interesting.
No kidding.
That's the one, Daniel Jones. So
why?
Keep an eye on him. He's 6'5", 220 pounds. He can really, really move. He's got a live arm. He's being coached by Cutcliffe is not going to hurt him any because he's going to come in ready to play. He's a good player.
So Justin Herbert's not going to be a top 5 pick, or he will just because the need's going to get him there?
Quarterbacks always go. I'm just saying I don't think this group is as good as the group we just had.
So Gruden's not going to use their first-round pick on a quarterback, right?
Well, Gruden took a tackle in the top 15 that I didn't have in my top 50, so I'm not going to predict anything that's going to take place there.
You came in with a blowtorch and you're leaving with it, man. I love it. I love it. So okay,
we'll see what happens.
So let's just say Tua is eligible right now. Is he the first overall pick in the draft? Right now, if he could go right now.
They discourage us. They discourage us from saying that.
Don't look, please. Come on, you're on this show now. So no, I know they is just in general. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, come on now.
This is a safe
it's
place.
a safe place, DJ.
Tua Tagovailoa is by far the best quarterback in college football. That if you were an NFL team that had a need at that position and happened to find yourself picking very high in the NFL draft, he'd be very interesting.
Look at you. That now you are very direct and forthright, and yet infused it with a little bit of straddling language at the end to keep everybody happy. You were like a soup that ate like a meal right there, DJ.
Well, I heard there's something coming up on Tuesday, Rich. I'm just trying to be along with the times here.
Okay, very good, DJ. You take care. Have a great cast on Sunday, and we'll chat down the line as always.
Thanks, buddy. We'll see you.
You got it. It's Daniel Jeremiah.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern on Audience.